Hello and welcome to the Pool Podcast. Today you are very lucky. You're getting to know Adriana Rojas, who's here with us today. Adriana's been an entrepreneur from the very early days. Now she's a woman in tech, and she's also going to be helping me set up our group, our forum for women in business. So, Adriana, welcome to the Pool Podcast.
Thank you, Chris.
Adriana, for people to get to know you a little bit better, I would like if you could actually say who you are and what you do.
Who I am, it's a very deep question, I would say. So it's something I'm still figuring out every day. So let me straight go to the second one. So what I do, I work for Tenant Evaluation. It's an American company specializing in the prop tech industry. And I've been working for the company for the past 7 years, currently leading the product department. When I started, I learned, the main important processes at the company, and sooner, became the operational manager for the company. But at some point, I realized that it was kind of difficult to scale up the company without automation. There was a lot of processes that were repetitive, that were manual, that we needed to automate, right, in order to grow. So early, I think I would say 2019,
Mm-hmm.
we started with this transition into an automation process and kind of company.
That was kind of
I
your initiative.
mm, it was no, I guess it's the partner, the CEO, always willing to grow the vision of the owner. It's a very I would say high in that sense, and he needed to scale up very fast, right? And in order for me as an operational manager to train people, I was spending 3 to 4 months to train 2, 3 people, and then once the 3 months accomplished, they left. So for me, it was super hard. So it was kind of a shared initiative for me to stay in the company and continue helping them to grow, and of course following the CEO's vision. And so I say let's start. It was 2019 when we started the automation, and I have to say, as we speak, the company is automated at 86%.
86%
Yeah, fully automated
from
almost.
2019 to now.
Yes, yes, and we didn't have AI.
Exactly. But you
Well,
do now.
yes, a different story now. But yeah, we started with the technology we had hand in at that moment, with of course a group of IT team that helped me, and it was a group achievement, I would say. So yeah, so I helped them, and then I had the opportunity to go into a IT world, since the operational part was mainly automated. So a new challenge for me was leading the IT development. And last year is when I moved into a more strategic position, which is building the product and services of the future for the company, which is what I love. And I'm super passionate about it. And that's what I'm currently doing.
Really interesting. Okay, all this, obviously, tenant evaluation. I believe if you want, for people listening, would you mind just telling us a little bit what tenant evaluation does?
Yeah, so as I say, it's in the prop tech industry. The company started with the processes of new tenants into a home, onboarding process. The company digitalized the whole process. So back in the days, and if you're not very familiar with the US and especially the state of Florida, in order to move to a home, there's a special screening process you have to apply for. And that I say is not common here in Europe, it's not common in Latin America. So it's very specific. We're in a very customized industry, I would say. So we provide that digitalization of that screening process. So we had new tenants applying through our system. We ran credit checks, background checks, and so forth. Right. So at the end, we create a profile of that new tenant and send it over to the communities. And that's how it started. But now it's more like a company that provides services for the prop tech industry, which is more management companies, communities, HOAs, specialize in processes that they do manually. So we offer a different range of services, different partner companies, such as Sync, which is also part here of the pool.
Hmm.
So
I love that because when you're talking about tech companies, I love sometimes how they start
Yeah.
and all of a sudden how they pivot and see that, hey, you know what we've managed to create normally software, et cetera, actually works for different industries. And it's nice to see
Oh,
that
yeah.
you've got that adaptability. It's really interesting. I think we started from the end, which is great, how I like to do things. But I want to hear a little bit more about you. I know that you've been entrepreneur from the very early days.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, because tell me where the story started and what brought you to Marbella at the end.
Well, so I was burned in an entrepreneurial family. I'm from Colombia. And my parents, they own businesses. They're currently retired. But my whole life, I've been in this environment of, my mom, my dad having their own businesses. I have two sisters, both of them also running their businesses. So as you can see, it goes deep in our roots, in our family. I would say it's in my blood, right? So when my dad realized I was, around 7 years, 8 years, he said I needed, to help in the business. So I was basically helping them in the office since I was a kid and learning how to run, how truly it's running a business, right?
What was this particular business about?
They had my mom, my dad, they had company in clothes
Okay.
clothes industry, and they were building these little jackets, sweaters, all of that. And I helped them in the office, and then my personal experience as entrepreneur, it was when I returned back from Canada, because I had the opportunity to live 6 months or so before my degree. I moved to Toronto
Mm-hmm.
just for my English purposes. I learned, and then I came back at my degree. And my degree is in supply chain, logistics, and production.
Okay.
So
I
my
can see where that comes from. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
specialization in processes.
Okay.
And I came back, and then my sister, one of my sister, that it was in the food industry, completely different industry, she asked me to help her in the business. And something that should be a short term, because I'm saying before living outside in Canada, it was kind of my dream, the opportunities and the door that opened for me, it was, incredible. So I would
What would you
say
say when you were in Canada, when you came back to Colombia? Which would you say were a couple of things that changed you?
I love my country. I love my country. I think it's an amazing country. But what I saw, it's my personal experience, is a progress, a lot of opportunities that can be open and depend on you, and organization, safety, that things that value a lot for me. So yeah. So when I return, I say, oh, I'm gonna stay for a short term because my dream is to live outside. Okay, something that's supposed to be short.
Then your sister came, wanted your help in the food
Yes,
company, and it was
yes,
supposed to be the short term. Then
yes,
what happened?
especially in the logistic department.
Okay.
And happened to be the 5 most amazing years in my life. And my first experience as an entrepreneur, as running a business, even though it was with my sister, I had the opportunity to be an entrepreneur. I have to say, an entrepreneur for me isn't only if you own the company, and that's the way I see entrepreneurship. You are an entrepreneur if you bring creativity to the table, to your position, to your department, your team, not just because you owned a company. So you can be an entrepreneur even if you're a team member of a.
I agree. I've seen that quite a lot. I mean, sometimes you have founders who create the company, but then the entire innovation happens through the CEO, COO, whoever. A lot of people call that intrapreneur when it's in a structure, intrapreneur when it's a known business. But I completely agree. Entrepreneurship is whoever brings innovation to the company. So I think that's right.
Exactly. That's what I think. And I started, as I mentioned, in the logistics department, ground up. So it wasn't like, oh, because you're part of the family, then you have C-level position. No, no.
Welcome to the good old days. There we go.
Yeah, no, no. I've learned that with my dad as well. When I was helping him, I had to start from bottom up. And And then I started with the logistics. It was a tough environment for me because I'm young. And then imagine more than 10 years ago. So for me, dealing with truck drivers, logistics, and that environment is a little bit challenging, you know?
What do you think are the one or two things you learned the most from that experience?
Resilience, I would say. And for me, risk management, logistics is at the minute. It's something happens, you have to be very creative to resolve it. If the package or what we're delivering isn't at the right time, just at the moment, you have to resolve. So you have to be resilient, creative, um, take risk, but you have to resolve basically.
Exactly. So
That's what I learned.
that was with your food company with your sister, which went on for how long? You said 5 years. You said or
5 years.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, so I was in the logistic. I automated a lot of the process there. But then I moved into a completely different position, which was helping her. It wasn't a startup, okay? And we went on business completely. So we basically said we had two business lines. One of them was a very impactful one and super emotional for me because we were feeding around 500,000 children a day with snacks through social government programs
in Colombia,
in Colombia
500,000 children
a day.
a day.
Yeah.
Okay, now I
So
understand the impact part of it. Of course, I
exactly.
mean, yeah, okay.
And the whole mission of the company name was Dipsa Snacks. It was providing healthy snacks to the young generations. So these programs are provided by the government, but of course, our mission was using these programs to feed children in a healthy way. Okay, so we were creating snacks based on superfoods, nuts, seeds, cereals. My sister is a food engineer, so she was providing, all the good stuff recipes that taste good but also healthy. So that was very impactful, but of course we decided to open a different line, which was more B2C, to the end customer and more commercial.
Hmm.
And this came from an idea, one of those trade shows. We used to come a lot to Europe in the case and US for food industry trade shows.
Okay.
And we realized that there was a huge hype on these healthy snacks back in the days, again, more than 10 years ago.
Hmm.
And then she had a brilliant idea. It was brilliant. Mixing superfood like snacks, ingredients, sorry. It was chia, quinoa, maca, all of those superfood ingredients. But
And 10 years ago.
yeah,
A lot of people are hearing about it now. But we're talking 10
exactly.
years ago.
We're talking about 10 years ago when quinoa and chia weren't cool at
Exactly,
all.
yeah.
No one knew about it.
Like chia, quinoa, like what?
What is
Yeah,
that?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of teaching through my process as well. But so she had the idea of mixing those superfoods with exotic fruits from Colombia. Something that was completely unique in Colombia with a potential of a superfood. So it was a brilliant idea. It was amazing. The product tasted really good. It wasn't just because it was my company.
Which one was your favorite one? Like any particular
The
fruit in
mango
particular?
chia
The
one.
mango chia one?
Mango chia. We had coffee with quinoa, coffee, quinoa, and guarana.
Yeah.
And then we have three different type of quinoas: red, white, black. So it was completely explosion of flavors when you try them. And of course, Christian, no one knew what was that.
Exactly.
But-
Looked at the ingredients. Okay, sounds very natural, but quinoa, what is that?
and then
Like-
imagine that plus exotic fruits like goldenberry. Do you know what goldenberry is?
No, I do not.
Little fruit that you can see here very rare,
Okay.
very expensive. Pitahaya,
Yeah.
yeah, these type of fruits.
Okay.
So people were saying, "What is this?" So very curious, but a lot of course, learning as well from the end user to understand what they're eating.
And the
right?
markets that you were aiming for were Europe, US, was it Colombia itself?
No, international market. My sister always think big.
Okay.
and
Go big or go home.
yes,
Right there.
yeah, she says, why not we explore what makes us unique?
Mhm.
So in one of those trade shows, the only person that knew about this product was the buyer of Whole Foods. You know what Whole Foods brand is?
Yep.
Okay. So she said, what is this? She was looking for those products back in those days, and no one was selling this type of products. So our first client was Whole Foods in the US.
It's not a bad first client to have.
FDA didn't know what was chia, quinoa, mango, all of these fruits. I remember the first 3 containers were in the FDA regulations for checks. What is this? Let me check on this. But yeah, so it was our first client. I remember myself helping in the production, in the production lines, timing everyone and making sure the quality was in place. It was amazing. For me, it was my dream. And so after, of course, I was helping a little bit in production, I decided that I want to help the business to grow in the international market.
Okay.
So my position was how I can grow the business in the international environment in Latin America and US.
Okay.
So I opened distribution across different countries, Costa Rica, Mexico.
So you went back to logistics somehow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but now internationally and
Okay.
more in the negotiation part.
Which
Attending
you're
to trade shows
let
and
me
so on.
let me stop you for a second. For those of you listening, if you ever need to negotiate with this woman, I'm really sorry for you. I went through that experience back in the day. She's been a member of Pool basically since the beginning. Hardcore negotiator, but yeah, it's appreciated. So yeah,
Skill.
sorry for that little pause there, but yeah, sorry.
So yes, I was negotiating, but the negotiations were. I remember the first challenge was in Peru. I had to go negotiate. My sister was pregnant,
Okay.
and she said I can't travel, so you have to go. I was like, what? Myself, it's my first negotiation. I have to negotiate. I don't know. I don't remember, like 4 to 5 containers, and it was a lot. I was like, oh wow, I did it.
So you went there. You got on a plane. You got there.
Yes.
How did it go?
We got the business.
I know you do. I mean, I'm sure you did.
We got the business. So something that is started as, short term startup turned completely into a very impactful business. So for me, that's what I say. 5 years of the most amazing time in my career.
And then your sister continues with that? Is it still up and
No,
running?
we sold the company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you had the exit process and
And
all
then
that
it's
as
when
well?
Marbella came to my life.
Okay, but before you talk about the Marbella part, you were in Miami for
Yes,
quite a while. Yeah.
actually, because I opened a company in US. So I realized I had, a lot of network in different countries across Latin America, mainly distributors. But US is different. I would say in the industry that I was handling, which is the food industry, it's huge network, a lot of distributors, brokers, um, I would say a lot of people in the chain, in the supply chain. So we realized if we want to succeed, we needed to have a presence there, full-time presence. So I decided to live outside and move to Miami.
Still very young.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Still very young. So you decided to go. I mean, was this kind of the thing that you remembered your experience back in Canada? I was like, okay, I'm going into the
It
US.
was always in my mind, Christian.
Yeah.
So since I came, I was like, oh, I love to be outside, the progress, the safety. At some point, I'm going to live.
Okay.
And then it was the opportunity for me. I opened the US branch of the company. I import, export. I import only, not export. I import the products. I find warehouses, pick and pack. I create the whole distribution chain in US, headquarters Miami, and then from that point, I was distributing across US.
I know you're a big fan of Miami, so tell me a little bit about that moment in time of your life.
Yeah, it was only 3 years. It was only 3 years because at the third year, the company, was sold. It was amazing for me to live in Miami. It's, a big city. Hustle and bustle never stops. A lot of growth. It's been 7 years since we moved to Spain. And from what I've heard, it has grown exponentially. The company, of course, that I work for is located in US and in Miami, and of course, I see the growth, especially in this industry of real estate. And for me, it was an amazing experience living in a big city with a lot of culture and things to do. So it was amazing.
So you were in Miami.
Yeah.
What brought you to Europe, and then obviously particularly to Marbella?
Yeah. So part of that decision was because we sold the company. Okay. So I felt a little bit empty.
I mean,
Can
after
you
doing
imagine?
the impact part at the same time, you were doing the logistics part of your sister's company.
It was,
Uh,
yeah, like raising a company's.
That's part of your soul is there.
It's like a raising a baby.
It is.
And it's imagine for my sister that she started when she was 25 years or 26. So for my sister was her baby, and it was also mine. So I felt a little bit empty when we sold the company because of negotiations with the new owners. Um, my sister was staying for X amount of time. I think it was 5 years or so. And I decided to leave because I didn't know at that point if they want to continue with the international business.
Mhm.
And for me to return back to Colombia wasn't a possibility.
Okay, so that was you had that quite clear. Like, okay, I've been there, done that. I've had experience abroad, and I see that's where my future lies.
Exactly. So then I got married. And then my husband and I decided, okay, we need a change. For him, it was 16 years living in US. But we
You met him there?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, we said, we have to make a change because we want it. And he says, wait, no, Spain. Why don't we move to Spain? I was like, you're crazy. We don't know Spain. Like, because of my company, I had the opportunity to come to Europe
Mhm.
several times. The biggest food industry trade show is in Germany.
Mhm.
And every 2 years, I have to come and attend. But it was only connection flights in Madrid. Never stop by to experience the city. And he, out of the sudden, he say, let's move to Spain. Like, Spain. Yeah, I've heard quality of life is amazing there, and that's what I'm looking for. What do you think? I'm like super risk taker. So I'm okay, I don't have nothing to lose.
Let's go.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
But Marbella wasn't in the map at all.
So it was Spain. For now, it was
It
just
was
Spain.
Spain.
Okay.
And we had very good friends in Miami that had properties in Madrid. So they said, well, stay at our place, get to know the cities, big cities, Madrid, Barcelona, and see where you want to live. So that was our plan. And I say, okay, let's go. So we put everything in a container, left it in a warehouse. And for me, it was life happening. And let me tell you why. Because we didn't know about Marbella until a very close friend of us say, you guys are taking the decision to move to Marbella. At the same time, he was taking the same exact decision.
From Miami.
And it was my husband's partner.
But it was completely unrelated.
They're having business
Yeah,
together.
exactly. But it wasn't that you had
No,
spoken about it.
Nothing.
It's like,
So when Javi talked to him, he said, wait a minute. I'm also taking the same exact decision to move to Miami. I'm sorry, from Miami to Spain. And I was like, oh, wow. So it was meant to be.
okay.
So he said, before you guys take any decision, meet me in Marbella. I want to make sure you know this place before you decide where to live. And I was like, okay, why not? Yeah, sure. I wasn't convinced at all. I have to be honest.
The first time.
The first time.
Okay.
Now I'm in love.
Yeah, exactly.
But the first time for me, no. Why?
Oh, yeah, exactly. That was going to be my, yeah, exactly. You can see me there. There you go. Okay.
No. Why? Golf, retirement place. My mind was business, Christian.
And you came from Miami.
Yeah,
Exactly.
running a business, being in trade shows, meeting, C-level directors. What am I gonna do here? I'm gonna retire. No.
You were like, yeah, well, I'm not going to go for the age, but yeah, a very early stage retirement, yeah, was not in your plans.
Well,
yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
soon it comes.
Exactly.
But I say, no, what am I going to do here? But since it was very close friend, Javi and I decided to, yeah, why not? Let's give it a chance. It's beautiful. Marbella is beautiful. It's a place you were, asking me before that what I liked of from Marbella. Uh, Hiking trails, mountains, ocean, a lot of outdoors activities, and also business. You have everything in one place.
Hmm.
So I feel excited and a lot of gratitude living here. It's priceless.
Did you try other places before?
Yes,
Yes.
Madrid
Madrid, okay.
for a while.
Okay.
But we tried not to live for a long time. It was we went to Barcelona. I stayed for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
We went to Valencia, which Javi loved. Valencia, I say no. I didn't feel it's beautiful. It's a
Mm.
beautiful city, but I didn't feel that it was my place. But yeah, so that short, 2-3 weeks trip, but I didn't leave for more than that. So we say, well, it's amazing. Our friend is here, family, and okay, let's stay in Marbella. So Marbella wasn't in the radar for us
Okay.
at all.
But the first impression of Marbella was like, oof, not for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
What happened?
I got in love. The city, as I mentioned, it's a city that provides you all. In that sense, it's very well connected. On Malaga, 45 minutes, you have 2 hours flight, and you're in the major European cities. You can also cross to Africa, you know. And then for me, it's the connectivity, the people. I love Spanish people. The life, the way, the quality of having a meal, taste the flavors, and for me that is life. Um, but yeah, as I say, Marbella has it all for me at this point. So the day that I realized that Marbella has it all
Mhm.
was the day that I went to La Concha, La Concha.
Yeah, the
So I
mountain,
went
yeah.
up,
Mhm.
down, 4 hours up, 4 hours down, went to home, go for a swim in the pool, and then had dinner at the beach. I realized where in the world you can do this in one day. Marbella has it all. So it's priceless for me living here. Um, I love the place, the gratitude where I have living here, meeting all these amazing people, and now having my business and working from here, meeting you and this community of the pool that brings that that technology for me just has it all. And if you feel you want city, the hustle and bustle, go to Malaga. It's already big.
Mhm.
What it used to be 7 years when we came is not how it looks now.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And big headquarters moved to Malaga, Google, for instance.
You got Google, Jekra, Oracle, Vodafone. You got amazing companies
Yeah.
now.
So, but if Malaga isn't enough for you as a city person, go to London.
Exactly. It's a
2, 3
2 hours flight.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And if I have to go to Miami to see the business, then it's a longer flight.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't have to go very often also. But yeah, so for me, it has it all. I love it. Having 5 minute, 15 minutes commute every day, that's life
It's a game
changing.
changer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Adriana, there's two things I would like to, before we finish, there's two things I would like to focus on. One of them is you're a woman in tech. I know tech industry, mainly male dominated, etc. But I mean, you already had experience of being in a male dominated industry and you taking charge of a department and the company and so forth. What would you say within, let's say, the company you're working now, Tenant Evaluation, the main struggles that you find right now?
Right now, I in the position of product lead, I would say, is the speed of the technology we're facing right now, which is artificial intelligence. I was talking to my partner, the CEO of the company, and we are in a race right now. All of our companies are in a race, and it's a matter of time who gets first.
Exactly.
And I think that's the biggest challenge we're currently facing. Learning all of these technologies to deliver something as fast as possible. Because now it's at your fingerprints. So there's no excuses that even for me, I'm not a developer. I don't know how to read or write a code, but I don't longer need it.
Exactly.
So the opportunities are endless. It's the best time, and that's how I think, because for every challenge, I see an opportunity. And it's the best time in life to open a company and be successful. The challenge is to maintain that company over the time. And what used to be a change in technology every X amount of time, I don't know, years, now is every 4 months, every 3 months. That's the biggest challenge I think I'm facing right now.
Really interesting. Then we're going to focus on the other part, something that you and I are basically doing together, which is
You forced me to do.
exactly, yeah. Let's use the right wording. I've more or less, let's say, very strongly suggested that you took a leading role in creating our Women in Business forum. I know it's not defined yet. We've had a lot of conversations about it, and I think our visions are pretty much aligned. But you have some previous experience with, let's say, women in business groups.
Yep.
Would you like to start with that?
Yeah, it was actually came to US experience when I had my company. I was part of a big network. It was huge, women-owned business network where I had the opportunity to meet great women in business. Some of them being owners, some others just working for major companies such as Walmart, Coca-Cola, UPS. And some of them also C-level executives, where I learned a lot from them. Actually, one of them, Anna, I remember her a lot because she was my coach
Mm-hmm.
in business, especially understanding how Americans do business.
Okay.
Okay. And we help each other, we share contacts, we lift each other up. So it was a very nice network and community. And I had that opportunity, which through that, that organization, it was a nonprofit. There was a global summit, which is GES, Global Entrepreneurship Summit, that it was 200 women were selected worldwide to go to this global summit and meet a huge network of investors, executives looking to buy businesses. But most importantly, we were selected among those 200, and my sister met President Barack Obama.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was a huge opportunity for the company. Soon after, the company was sold. But for me, that experience of women's in business and how we shared that passion, I think changed my life, right? However, I realize that we carry on a lot. And that is something that I realized living here, actually, and changing from a food industry into a tech. I'm not a mom, but Christian, how I see women right now in this new generation, we see it, and I see it on my closest experience, my sisters, my best friends. We are juggling like this, you know.
What are you juggling? Yeah.
I'm juggling
Exactly.
business,
Yeah.
okay, family, even supporting your team members, leading your team, and your personal life, right? So you're juggling, you're in a constant rush. At some point, you get tired, and one of those balls dropped.
And I think I would add to that, I would think maybe there's an extra pressure on women rather than men juggling all this stuff, right? What do you say?
Yes, because we have to show up strong. And we are expected to deliver 100% on all of these roles. But what happens when you get tired, you drop one, you pick it very quick, and you continue, right? So you're not delivering 100% on every single role that you're facing as women. Now,
No, I think we're aiming in at what the ethos of the new group that we're putting together of Women in Business stands for, right? We're getting there.
yeah, we're
exactly,
getting there.
yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah,
I tend to speak a lot.
No,
So
no, but
keep me on the-
no. I love it, but I think we built the momentum now. So I think you actually gave the explanation of why you're focusing this group in the way you want to focus.
Yeah, so I realized that, and then I say, who can help us? Because this is a lot to manage. And if it brings passion to you, I'm not the person to say, just leave your business because you have to be mom. Because if both of these roles give you, happiness, how do I maintain the two of them? So I see technology as a solution. And I didn't see technology quite, 3-4 years ago, because for me to just enter into the technology, I needed to learn how to write and read a code.
Exactly.
So for me, kind of on top of all of these, then I
Now,
have to
now I need to be a
study.
coder.
No. And I'm business women, more strategic than rather, developer. So I didn't see that opportunity in the past. But now AI, artificial intelligence, bring that to your table, right? And it's in front of you. For me, isn't a tool, even though you can use it as a tool, but it's more like an assistant. It's like having 3,000 Adrianas at the same time doing different jobs, right? Now it's our mission to know how to use it. You can use it as a tool. It can help you somehow, of course. There's endless possibilities with AI. But how do you use it as an assistant to streamline processes at your business, to even help you at your family, scheduling meals, getting customization of your routines at the gym. So a lot of things that can be automated that save time. And that's the keyword. How am I going to save time to spend my time in what it really matters? You decide what matters for you. If matters still at your business, it matters is your family, but you have more time. So it's basically how wisely you use your time. And Christian, life is short.
Mhm.
We don't know how long it's going to be for you or for me. So we better enjoy life and spend it in what it really matters.
And using technology to actually help you.
Help.
Exactly. To focus
Exactly.
on what's important to
I've
you.
seen it. I've seen it in my experience of this company opportunity at Tenant, automating processes for 7 years. I see how we can automate those repetitive tasks that take hours to be accomplished, give it to a machine. The machine does it for you, and then you spend your time in another area of the company, in your life, even to go to gym, because I forgot we have to look beautiful, so we also have to make it to our gym class.
Exactly. So the way I see it is obviously that the group that you're putting together and you're going to be running for Women in Business is going to be, one of the elements is going to be how to use technology to help you spend time on the things that you want to spend your time, which is a
Yes.
really interesting ingredient, because I mean, regardless what you decide to use your time on, the technology is there, not for you to, as you said, not for you, for something for you to learn and to learn to code, etc. No,
No.
it's basically to make sure that the tedious tasks that you don't want to do, or at least to get the technology help you focus on what you really want to be focused.
Yes, and the key, what I have in mind, is about efficiency and productivity at businesses. For you, Christian, what is a productive day? What does it mean?
I think it would be nice for once to, for me, when I drive to work is when I'm actually thinking, okay, today I want to make sure I do this, do that, do that, do that, do that. Normally, by the time I leave work, I have not done these, but I've actually added another 4 or 3 things that I need to do. And maybe I've done like 16 different things that was not supposed to be. Oh, it was not one of those things.
So that day was very productive.
Exactly. Maybe it was productive, but for what matters, it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it resumes to a to-do list, right?
Mhm.
So I normally plan my week on Mondays and I close my week on Fridays. So I say, okay, what I've accomplished this week, it's my to-do list,
Mhm.
and what I have for next week, another to-do list,
Mm.
right? So productivity is, if you go to the bare minimum meaning of productivity, it's about the outcome, how much you can do in how many hours you work. So if you had a list of 20 tasks and you accomplish for the week, and in a day you accomplish 16, you say, oh, poof, I'm very productive. Something that I had to achieve in a week, now I'm doing it in one day, at least more than half. That is productivity, and that is powered for AI, being productive. But the component that comes within, it's efficiency. So now let me ask you, if you're productive, are you efficient? What is efficiency for you?
For me, I think productive is okay. I've done X amount of tasks. What I mentioned before. Efficiency for me would have been okay. I've actually worked on the things that I suspected I was going to work. I wanted to work, and I've done them easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So efficiency, it's and this comes from my experience in supply chain.
Mhm.
These are two big words in supply chain: productivity and efficiency. Efficiency is more in the process. So if you see a machine,
Mhm.
a machine, is the machine efficient depending on the power and energy that it takes to accomplish? So efficiency is in the process, while productivity is in the outcome,
Exactly.
right? So how efficient are you in those, I don't know, 16 tasks that you accomplish? How much energy and time you spend? Am I doing 16 tasks faster and with less energy?
Or am I just drained after doing a couple of them? Yeah, exactly.
That is efficiency. And these two are the key pillars of AI that are impacting drastically businesses. And that's what I like to teach or, share, because of course I don't know everything, but share to the world and especially to women that handle a lot. How can we be more productive and more efficient? So that's why the name of the group, Little Hint, is Wonder Woman powered by AI, because we're superheroes, Christian. That's what I think. We're completely superheroes.
Really interesting, and I am excited about the outcome of the group. Adriana, I think we're gonna wrap up here. It's been amazing to be able to talk to you. I'm sorry I've been pushing you to be on the podcast for a while, but I'm so happy that you finally managed to. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'm really excited to see our women in business, or we said Wonder Woman and powered by AI. It's going to be really interesting to see. So if anybody listening is interested in this, please reach out, and we'll keep you posted. Adriana,
Thank you so much. Christian, may I say something before we finish?
Go ahead.
It's something I like to share with the world.
Go
It's
ahead.
my message.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Whatever you do in life, do it with passion. Passion brings and delivers happiness to others and great results, and it's basically the path to success.